Aquarius, what is up? Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Deborah with Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is your December reading for Purusha Intuitive. So yeah, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. You can be a cross watcher. I always just say if the message applies to you, then it's definitely meant for you. It is a general collective reading, just bear that in mind. So the situations might be different for everybody, but the energy will be the same if it's a message for you. So I hope you're well, sending lots of love and blessings. Let's look and see what's going on with you, Aquarius. Like, this chair feels very awkward today for some reason. All right, so the mass. So very interesting. You know, so I do feel like there's been a lot of change in your life as of recent. There's this energy of you really wanting, pursuing more stability, more grounding. And I feel like the relationship that you've come from, there was a lot of mass. That you didn't necessarily see the true person. I feel like you ended up seeing their true colors eventually. It all kind of came to the surface, and you've been doing a lot of healing around that, right? But you either have already cut them off or you're in the process of that breakup, you know? You're seeing someone's true colors for what they are, and it's shady, if I'm honest. This is about, you know, just not really, like, it's almost like they're trying to be what you want, like how you think you want them to act, but not being their authentic self. And I feel like they're kind of shitty. Like there is, excuse me, no shade. Sorry, I say that with love. But I get this element of kind of like control and manipulation, you know, trying to get, certain things out of you. They could have like some codependency issues, or you know, some substance, gambling, you know, kind of addiction in place. I feel like maybe they might be hiding that from you. Maybe you don't see the full, or maybe this has all come to light recently. Their true colors, yeah. I mean, it's, you know, obviously this vibe is very non-committal. They're kind of using you more as like a pawn, I would say. Or maybe a pawn is a bad way to describe it, but it almost just feels like, you know, you're a piece in their puzzle, right? Like you fulfilled a certain role, but they don't want you kind of infiltrating the other places in their life, is what I'm hearing. And like I said, it looks like you don't even really know who this person truly is, because they hide, right? They hide behind these masks, these illusions that they create. And like I said, I do feel like you are, either you're seeing this, you're seeing elements of this pop up, more is going to come to light, more confirmation, yeah. I feel like it's really stressing you out. And you, like I said, it does feel like you've been dealing with this person for a minute. But you do know what is best for you. Yeah. It does feel a little complicated. I'm not going to lie. This feels like this is someone that you've kind of had in your life for a while. Maybe you have kids, a family with them, etc. And it's stressful because you kind of have to find that balance for everyone, right? Like, it's really hard when you have to continually deal with a partner who's just not honest, not upfront, or even an ex-partner, you know, and especially when there's kids involved and you have to try to work amicably, etc. And this does feel very stressful to you. Maybe you're kind of trapped inside of this relationship with that burden, with that 10 of Wands energy. And I think it's hard. You're having a hard time finding that balance. Like the Temperance card is when it's almost like we're letting our emotions get the best of us, right? Where you have to kind of temper, right? That balance between what's actually happening in the physical world versus how you sense or you feel it, right? Either like not, to me, this is basically saying like, try not to get too emotional about it, and no shade. I mean, it stirs up a lot. It's triggering a lot. This person is kind of, we'll look into them a little bit more. Yeah. They're all out for their own success, their own victory. They're not thinking about you when they make decisions, right? They're more interested in kind of having whatever life this is, and it's irrespective of what you want. Let's see, let's look at them a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, they're more, I mean, to me, it's like, okay. I heard like friend zone. Even if you have been intimate, even if you have kind of had that sexual chemistry, attraction, etc., it's always going to be friendship. It's never going to be deeper than that. This person wants to keep you on the surface. They want to kind of keep you at arm's length. They don't really want you in their life. They keep you just very, like I said, they don't really want you knowing a lot is what I get with this Ace of Coins energy. Like keeping it very calculated, keeping it very, just confined, like almost not, like like I said, you're kind of in one space of their life, but they don't invite you into the others. And it doesn't look like they ever will. Yeah. I think if you do have kids with them, I think they're trying to, like with that Six of Swords, they know things are changing. They know that they're on borrowed time is what I'm hearing. And I don't think that they necessarily care. I say that with love. I know that might not be for everybody. Well, I don't know. Because like I said, they're coming up that ultimately they're going to run away. Sorry. I know sometimes hard messages are not fun to hear, but I think that that's the thing. It's like, as you continue to deal with them, you're trapping yourself in the stress, in the burden, in the responsibility, always on you. And honestly, when we're in that place of distress, it does make things like 10 times more emotional, If you're busy all the time, if you have all the responsibility on your plate, it's incredibly stressful, right? And I feel like, they know things are changing and they don't really like that, honestly. Yeah, dude. This is that energy of like, it's not going my way, but they're not really recognizing how they're taking advantage of the situation. Yeah, dude. Choose. That's messy. They're gonna blow it out of the water. That's how it's coming through, Aquarius. It's like they're gonna self-sabotage. They're self-destructing because they can't really handle it. But a lot of that is because they refuse to look at themselves, right? They're hiding from themselves just as much as they're hiding from you. Oftentimes we see a reflection of people, like when we're in those intimate relationships, the way that they act to you, etc., is the way that they act to themselves. And so obviously when we can't be honest about who we are, what works for us, what doesn't, when shit hits the fan, it's like a big pill for them to swallow and they can't handle it, right? And so they end up making the Tower energy it's self-destruction, right? It's like everything crumbling down. But this is their own doing, is how I'm hearing it. And I feel like they can't handle the separation. I feel like especially if you haven't cut them off, once you cut them off, it's going to be very, very hard for them. And I feel like that's when they kind of peace out, that's when they run. Ooh, shoot. Ooh, that's some tough energy. Oh my gosh, the devil. Yeah, just confirmation right there. They can't handle it. The devil, the devil can definitely represent like that pleasure island type vibe, confirming that addiction, you know. They might have some addiction issues, you know, obviously. Dude, this is like a very intense energy. I'm so sorry, Aquarius. But what I love is that you know better, you know. It's about like what makes you feel happy. You're moving away from that energy of being so sucked into them, you know, because they do control, they do manipulate you, they do try to bring you in, they tell you lies, they're gonna like blow smoke up your, you know, it's just like they know how to lure you. But I also feel like you see this, like, you know, a lot of times, especially if a relationship is unhealthy or has unhealthy dynamics, we really have to look at the actions of the person, the patterns that they're doing over and over and over again. You know, is it breakup makeup? Are they love bombing you? Are they, you know, kind of what is that cycle that you guys go through? And when we recognize that cycle, which it looks like that's where you're at, it's easier to say like, I'm not participating this anymore. It's too effing stressful, right? And it hurts. It's emotional. It's a lot to deal with. To me, temperance energy is when we almost feel like overwhelmed with that emotion. And why wouldn't you be? This person's being, you know, really, really shitty, like low vibey is how I'm hearing it. Yeah. And I don't feel like I mean, and I think, again, you know this, they're not ever gonna let you in. They're always on the defensive. They protect that. And I think, honestly, it's that deeper level of they won't even let themselves be happy because they're miserable. You know, I mean, you know, no shade. Everybody can choose whatever kind of lifestyle they want. But when you're kind of running around in this space of like addiction and hiding from people, you know, you're not happy. You're doing those things because you're not happy, right? And you bring, you know, if people are going to make you unhappy if they're not happy, right? Like they try to, I should say. Obviously, we have control over our own energy, and that's where that temperance comes into play for you. You know, it is emotional. It does suck. They are being, you know, a-holes, but it doesn't mean that you have to hurt yourself because of it, right? Sometimes we have to learn that lesson of how to find that balance of, okay, that person's doing that thing, but it's not my responsibility. And I need to find what is good for me, or counteracting whatever they're trying to do, because the devil energy is, like I said, it's controlling, it's manipulative. They will manipulate the situation, and they do know how to work you. They do know how to hustle you, unfortunately. And I feel like, so you have to be cognizant of that, right? And then make your decisions accordingly. But I feel like you're kind of coming out on top. You're seeing it. You see it very clearly. And to me, the Queen of Wands is always like, I don't know. It's like you see it and you're better for it. And you're moving on from it. And you're actually attracting more people out of the release of this person. You're evolving, you're, you know, you actually are upgrading yourself, right? What do they call it? A glow up, I think. Yeah. It just, like, she's, you know, she's someone that everyone wants to be around. She's attractive. She's sensual. There's something like very charismatic about the Queen of Wands. And I feel like that's this, you know, the space that you're stepping into, even though it's fire energy and obviously Aquarius is air energy, we still embody all the elements, right? We still embody all the zodiac, even though we have heavier placements in whatever your sun sign, etc. is. But this is like you kind of, you know, letting that part of you, letting your light shine, right? Letting people see who you are. Yeah, dude, I love that confirmation. That's complete like empowerment for you, Aquarius. You're taking steps. And I think that it's helping you detach from this energy from the old. Oh, I love that. Dude, that's like that's such an abundant energy. That's so vibrant. It's so abundant for you, Aquarius. That's basically saying like, you know, I think you see it. This person is still in your energy. They're still around, especially if you have kids, you have to deal with them, etc. They do feel like they're lingering, kind of coming back in, seeing what they can get from you. But you see it, but you're not paying attention to it. You're not dumping all, like, especially as time moves on, because you're putting all this intention into your own empowerment. You know, you're bringing in that abundance, that money, that wealth, especially if you've been, you know, working on business or career, or kind of like, you know, bringing whatever that abundance represents to you. It says you're stepping into that power, you know. And for everyone, that's going to be different. Sometimes that is money, but sometimes that's opportunities, or, you know, travel, or, I mean, it's maybe I don't necessarily feel the travel vibe, but I just discounted myself. That's not good. Okay, let's close this out then. No, this is a really grounded energy. That's why I say it. I mean, you could be a traveler. It is the holidays, you know, there's a lot of movement. But this feels grounded. It feels more material, you know, like you're bringing in wealth towards yourself. And whether that's wealth through, you know, material possessions, or kind of like, you know, money, whatever, that's the vibe that I'm getting for you. Okay. To clarify. You know, and so, I mean, obviously this person, this old situation, I feel like you're seeing that they aren't really living from that space of integrity. Obviously, I think you know it. I think it's forcing you to see your value, to say like, you can't take me for granted. I do need to step away. Yep. And it's creating change. And I think you both have to participate. Like, I don't necessarily see this person growing up, or, you know, moving out of their ways, because they feel very deep into them, you know, especially like we talked about with this energy right here. They're very much in that vibe. And so change is happening. It is afoot. You probably already know that. You're in the midst of it. I'm sending you all the love and blessings as you navigate through. I really hope that this helped. I know that these situations can be really difficult, but it also shows you coming out super empowered on the other end, which is awesome and ideal, right? Thank you so much for tuning in, Aquarius. If you liked it, definitely thumbs up, share, subscribe. If you want me to look at your personal situation, check out my services below. Otherwise, lots of videos trying to build up content. Check everything out. I hope to see you back. Lots of love and blessings always. Thank you.